Hey, everybody. It is still January. This is our third show. We're on the first and third Friday of every month here on United Broadcasting Network. We have some wonderful ladies here tonight. I know you love us, and we love you. Without you guys, we're like just a show that nobody pays attention to, but you actually pay attention to us. And I love all the feedback we've been getting. I just appreciate all of you. I really, really do. In the studio tonight, we have diversity.
I'm diversity.
She's the diversity. We have Mara Shane.
Hi.
Cara Noble.
Hello.
Kim Sanchez.
Hello.
Delisha.
Woo.
I'm not even going to try for your last name.
No, you're good.
Oh, good.
It's easy. It's like Miami.
Yeah, Naomi. And Durga. And then we have Tony, which no one sees Tony, but it's Tony. And we have a wonderful lady here tonight. I've known her for a long time. It's really longer than I wanted to remember. But you are amazing. She has been my rock up and down throughout many of my trials and tribulations in my journey of what we call life. I appreciate her being here tonight, and it's Christina Cassel.
Woo, woo.
Thank you.
Welcome.
Nice to meet you.
So the show tonight is what I like to call a hotbed show, which means it's things that set people off, things that people don't want to talk about. People really have a hard time communicating. I like to push the buttons. And I think this show, and I've been promoting it, and I always want to call it Sex, Lies, and Betrayal because of the movie Sex, Lies, and Videotape. But we may talk about sex tonight because that could happen. But it's actually secrets, lies, and betrayal. And we have all been through it. We have all committed it. And if anyone at this table says they haven't, I'll call their bullshit. Because we all have. And, you know, ultimately, and we'll get into some more details, and I'll pass it to Christina, since she's an MFT, what is it? Marriage Family Therapist. That's the one. So she hears a lot about that every day, which she cannot share. But it's all about personal stuff. But, you know, kind of things like, you know, when is it okay to lie? Is it ever okay to lie? Is it ever okay to have a secret? You know, and I'm sure we all have criteria for when we do lie and when we do have secrets. And I don't know if that's a good thing or a bad thing, because I think we really shouldn't do that. But it's inevitable. And even the little white lies, because I was raised Catholic. You know, you did a little white lie, you had to go to confession, you know. But I kind of worked out the deal where I said everything I did, and then I didn't tell everything. So the last thing I asked for penance for was always ended it this way. And I lied, which totally eradicated everything I said before. Wow. So I was a lawyer even as a child. So let's start this topic. Why don't you tell us about your background? Why don't you tell us how you came to be MMFT? And then we'll just start the discussion. But let the viewers get to know you.
Okay. You know what? I want to start actually with the topic.
Okay.
Because you called me and you asked me to do this topic. And so I started thinking. And I've had a month to think about this. And my first thought was, I really make a huge effort and I don't think I lie. And then I started thinking, okay, what secret do I have? And I couldn't think because I kind of, people that know me know that when the shit comes down, I share the shit. So, you know, I've taken care of my mom and my dad when they were dying. My dad had dementia. I went through the court system. I was in the courts for 5 years. I mean, I've got stories, like, unbelievable, which everybody does. That's the reality. Yep. But I thought back, oh, my goodness gracious. Mm-hmm. I have a 53-year-old secret.
Where are the sound effects, people? Da, 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 da.
Oh, my goodness. Wow, that's an old secret.
Yeah.
Telenovela.
I didn't know was a secret.
Wow. Okay.
So I went to my friends and I said, did I ever tell you that I was pregnant before I got married?
Juicy. Shotgun wedding.
Married to the father of the child, one
Yes.
assumes. But,
Yes.
I mean, you never
Right,
know.
that's
right?
true.
Right,
That's
true.
Okay. Now, I was afraid, and I called Gaye and I said, I am so nervous because people aren't going to understand this. This is before the women's movement, guys.
Course.
Yeah.
Oh, my goodness.
Yeah.
This is before.
I did exactly the same. Shotgun wedding. Shotgun wedding, baby.
But, when you're in your shame, it's like, nobody's going to like me. Everybody's going to think I'm a fake. Wow. And
Well, because of the profession that you're in, too.
right.
I mean, here you are counseling people through this. So for you to come to the realization, God, I fucked up too. I've hidden this. Even though it's not a big deal now.
It was a big deal.
Right, but it's societal. It wasn't your issue.
Right.
You wanted to marry him. You were happy to have that baby. That was all good, right?
But did you have the
Not-
baby?
Yes.
Oh, okay.
Yes.
Because it could have been more scandalous.
Correct.
It could have. But this is what happened. When I told my parents, and my dad was always the one that would talk to me, he'd say, why don't you come in the evening when it's dark?
Oh!
Whoa.
Oh.
Nobody
So the neighbors could
will
see.
Ouch.
Exactly.
Wow.
Exactly.
Wow.
That's very ouch.
Wow.
Very. Then the other one was let's see. Okay, sorry. I got
It's okay.
lost in there.
No, it's okay. It's like, this is your coming out story.
This is exactly my coming out story.
But don't you
Okay.
think the thing with experience something like that yourself, and I know you said that there's a lot of shame around that, but when you've gone through something, do you feel like you can help somebody even more through that?
I believe all the shit in my life was totally to train me as a therapist.
Yeah.
Right.
I grew up in a time where you did not talk. And I love that AA saying that you're only as sick as your secrets because I didn't know that this was a secret. I didn't really even realize that my friends didn't know, but I had to ask them because I started thinking, most of
You mean none of them did the math?
no.
Did you lie to your kid about his birthday then?
No. Oh, wait, that was it. Thank you for reminding me. My parents introduced him to, thank you, my grandparents and told me to tell them that he was a newborn, and I think he was 4 months or something.
Oh,
at
wow.
that age.
Oh, okay.
Really? You think they're that stupid?
No, but they probably figured it
He's
out.
just a big baby.
Right.
But it's but it is shame, and it's like
He's a good eater.
Here you are, first of all, birth control and talking about sex and how to prevent it. And I think there wasn't birth. I don't know how. Okay, that's
there
going to sound
wasn't.
so wrong.
That's okay.
Was there birth control before?
You
Not
know
very
what?
good.
It was
Abstinence?
just starting to
Was it that
come.
rhythm method or something?
Yeah.
Or
But-
pulling it out or
but
some shit?
Wait,
Yeah.
wait. This even gets more complicated because my ex-husband, because we did divorce, said that he would take care of it. I grew up not proud of this at all. It's not who I am today. But you listen to what a man told you. If he said he was going to take care of it,
In what way?
You mean the birth
Like
control
a-
part?
I was gonna say,
don't ask.
Like abortion?
Oh, no, you mean birth control.
Was
In
abortion-
other words-
control.
In other words, I'm going to figure it out, but don't ask me about it and don't talk about it.
Are you talking about the he said he'd take care of you not getting pregnant?
Yes,
Contraception.
yes.
Oh, okay,
yes,
okay,
okay.
Yes, but
You trust him. He took his word.
that's exactly it. That's exactly it.
Wow.
Okay,
So here you are pregnant,
so here I am pregnant.
and now you have to tell your
And-
parents
Yes,
That didn't go over well, I'm sure.
Not at all.
Yeah.
They were furious, and this is going to sound so ridiculous, but I was that good kid.
Yeah.
I never did anything wrong. Because you can see what kind of result I get, right?
Did you use that to put that in their face? That look, if this is my first mistake, people,
Yes.
Did
It's
you
a
get
big
any
one, though.
understanding there?
No, that's huge. No, that's
It's
huge.
a huge one
That was
back
huge.
then.
And back then, exactly, back then that was huge. So you were a disgrace to the family. A lot of people, like if you were Catholic, and I don't know what you were raised, but
got shipped off.
hold on, even me, and I'm 56. Okay, there was a girl. I even know her name, but I won't shame her on air. Not that she's watching, but we were in high school, and she was there for. And then she wasn't.
That's right.
Yeah.
And it was like, well, what happened to her? And now my mother worked, in the school, so of course I got the lowdown that she got pregnant.
polio.
Yeah, she got polio. Right? She got pregnant, and all of a sudden, she disappeared. But like they truly moved her to Miami. To a second or third cousin that nobody would know.
Right.
And then she went and had the baby because you couldn't have an abortion because you were Catholic. And then suddenly, sophomore year, she appeared back.
Right.
She was back in school.
Yeah.
Wow.
It's funny.
And nobody talked about it.
Nobody talked about it.
I was just talking to somebody about my late husband, right before he met me, got out of the blue, got contacted by an adoption agency in Boston. And they said, Mr. Hudson, you have an older sister. And he said, no, I don't. And they said, well, yes, this woman says she's your older sister and she wants to contact you. And he thought, oh, she just wants something and blah, blah, until she started sending pictures of her and her daughter, spitting image of his mother.
Wow.
And apparently, when his mother was 15, she got pregnant.
Oh, and never told
And
him.
nope, never told anybody really. Well, except her relatives back in Boston. So she went there, had the baby, gave the baby up for adoption to family, and came back and then met his dad. And so all these years later, this woman grew up in Boston until she was 14, and then they emigrated to Israel.
Oh, wow.
And that's also, my husband didn't know until around that same time that his mother's side of the family was Jewish. Because that's another secret. They waited until the grandfather died. I mean, this is deep, and changed their name from Feldman so nobody would know they were Jews.
Right.
I mean, how crazy is that?
There's a lot of crazy shit that happens in this, especially the United States, which is probably worse than more puritanical than it was. But getting back to the topic of secrets and lies, we tell secrets. I mean, we have secrets. I can't lie. I really can't. I have tried. Now, I don't do like major lies, but it's like, sorry, I can't go out. I'm not feeling well. For no reason that maybe I'm fucking tired, but I don't want anyone to think that my old ass don't want to come out. It's like, no, I can do it. But it's sort of like, in my mind, like having a secret, telling a little lie, is okay if that person is not going to be hurt by it. So for my criteria is if it's just something that's mundane, like I can't see it tonight because I'm working late. It's not going to hurt anything.
Unless it's, I can't see you tonight because I'm working late, honey, and I'm going to fuck my girlfriend.
Right,
Well, yeah,
right. Yeah.
That's a whole other thing. But see, I don't have that kind of life. I don't have that kind of life.
That's an omission.
Okay, and that is my thing. So
No,
we've got
I'm not
secrets.
saying.
So we've got secret lies, and you do it. So betrayal for me comes in if it's a lie or something that's told that is specifically going to hurt someone
Or an omission.
Hold on, that's what I'm
Yeah,
getting there.
sorry.
That's the betrayal.
Jumping the gun,
You're
Karen.
jumping the gun. Calm down. I said that becomes the betrayal. So you have hurt someone, which now then someone doesn't want to hurt you. So they say they're not lying in their head, but but they're not telling you everything, and that is called What?
That's called an omission.
And is
Nice,
an,
Mara.
and
one.
is an omission a lie?
I think it
Yes.
Yes.
It can
Well,
be.
it is if you're called up on it.
I think it depends. I mean, I
choose
think
it.
Well,
you
I
can
mean-
also look at the level of hurt that it's going to give that person if you
That's true.
say something. And sometimes you don't have to say the full truth. You can tell the truth without giving all of the details so
yeah,
that
I
you
thi-
don't have to hurt that person.
I believe that it's about timing.
But isn't it subject? That's so subjective.
it's
you
about
guys.
timing. It's not necessarily
By
the
way,
right.
you feel. I'm going to just tell
time.
Christine how this works. Feel free to pipe in anytime. You don't have to wait because we'll never shut up.
I was just going to say it's not always when you first meet someone, you may be omitting something until it's the right time when you
Right.
know that it's
Right.
going
True.
somewhere and you
Yeah.
feel like it might not be appropriate.
Yes.
Well, but see, me. You guys know me. I'm open. You know, I can't lie. I mean, I'll sit there and go, blah, blah, blah. Oh, shit, I'm lying. Here's the truth. I mean, I just am real because I don't want people to think that I'm a liar. I don't want to hurt anyone. So I would rather tell someone the truth
Right.
automatically. Like, I did cheat on my first girlfriend. Okay? I did. I am not proud of it. And I have never done that again because I have learned an immediate lesson. Why? Because it hurt her. It hurt her deeply.
Right.
Okay? And the reason why I cheated was so stupid and immature. And I was 22, 23, my first relationship. I didn't have the balls to confront her and say, this is not working.
Right.
Because I didn't want to be the bad guy.
So you
didn't.
cheated.
So I cheated, thinking if I told her I cheated,
that you could get out of it.
I'll get out of it. She would say, you're a bitch. I can't
then
stand
you're
you.
a bad
guy. Right.
No, that didn't work out
See,
that way.
that doesn't make any sense to me whatsoever.
It did because
That's
I
a
did.
guy move.
Yeah, it's a total guy
That's a
move.
guy move.
Sorry.
That's a pussy move.
Sorry. I am not
gay?
I am gay. But my point is that it was one of the first lessons I learned just in general because it backfired.
Yeah.
This woman loved me so much. So much.
But I have to ask you, how would you have felt if you had to hold that in the whole relationship? That wouldn't have been a good relationship either. So it's better that you come out and
No,
tell
you
the
just
truth.
end it.
You ended, but
ended before you
But the
cheat.
thing is, the whole thing was fucked up. It was too much drama for me just because I didn't have the balls to speak my truth and say this wasn't working. Because I could have said it. This wasn't working before I even had the affair.
Right.
But I chose to have the affair because of my fucked up mind, immature at the time. I was trying to project. I didn't want the responsibility.
That's probably what a lot of people do when they cheat.
Yeah.
I don't know. I've never cheated, but I'm saying that that's probably what's going through their head is
It is.
let's sabotage this so that I can get
Exactly.
out.
Or
You know?
there's another thing that happens. They're really angry at the person.
Yeah,
'Cause
there's
it's
that.
a very angry gesture. So
To cheat?
something's
Yeah.
Well, I know, which is the reaction I was waiting to get, and I was prepped.
No, she's
No,
saying that
the
the
person who
cheater
the
cheats.
cheater
is
angry.
angry, and so they do that.
hold on.
I'm not every time.
No, just
but-
wait. Just wait, though, because
All
this is
right.
real. Let me just finish, and then we can
Okay.
just go on.
Okay.
Because I ended up being angry. Because she said to me, I forgive you.
Oy.
Oh, my God.
how dare she?
And I'm sitting in my head going, seriously? I said, what do you mean you forgive me? I just cheated on you. And she said, but I love you. How could you love me? I said, someone. If the shoe was on the other foot, your ass would be out there right now with me throwing your shit
Right.
out of the window. You don't respect yourself. Because you don't respect yourself.
Oh, shit.
You don't respect
You went
me.
there.
And I can't be in a relationship with someone who doesn't respect himself.
Oh, my
God.
So complicated.
So classic.
So
Twisted.
So then I
So
said,
L-word.
it's over. And I ended up breaking up with her anyway.
Which is
And I
what
didn't have to cheat with her.
You should have done that in the first
Exactly.
place. But I have a question for everybody.
Yeah.
So I happen to have a rule, or I have had, which is I do not cheat. I am very, very loyal. Unless you cheat on me first.
Then you can cheat on them.
Then all
That's
bets are off.
retribution.
Yeah.
Then all bets are off. No, it's like if you're going to break this commitment, then that commitment isn't really there.
Well,
then
then it should
Yeah,
be
but
a
why would you
mutual
want to
decision
be
between both
like?
of
Why
you.
would yes? And why would you want to stay with that person?
I've
not so
done
black
that
and
when I was
white.
really young and stupid.
Yeah.
Actually, I talked to him today, my ex, and we're going to work together. I loved him so much, and he cheated on me, and I kept waiting for him to figure out that he was never going to find anybody like me.
Right.
And
Because we think we can love them better.
yeah,
We can
we-
love them to
that too.
wholeness.
No, but we were so well suited, as so I thought he's a musician like me. But
these are stories we tell ourselves to stay in. Trust me, I know.
I got over it.
These are stories we tell ourselves when the lying happens, when the omissions happen.
But sometimes
I don't think I do it
it's-
now.
It's the lying to ourselves that it's more
right.
devastating
that's
than the
right.
other
Yeah.
person
True.
lying to
That's
us.
definitely
Correct.
You know.
I've definitely lied to myself. I don't lie to people. I mean, like you said, maybe some minimal. I don't feel well because I
Right.
don't want to go out. But like lying to people, I also find it when I'm dating somebody, and if I don't want to see them again, it's such an awkward situation, and I don't want to hurt their feelings.
So what do you say?
I usually say the typical, "It's not you, it's me."
Jesus Christ.
I feel like it's you, it's
So
not
that
me.
is actually
no,
bullshit.
but yeah.
I
No, it actually is you. It's really
Yeah.
It's
you.
you, it's not
Yeah.
me.
Because you're not. See, here's the thing: you're not doing anybody any favors
I
by
know,
coddling
right?
them
I
like
know,
that.
yeah, and
If
it's
they're
actually
if they're pulling some
narcissistic.
shit
Yeah.
that is really obnoxious, and you know it's a pattern that they must have exhibited in other relationships, if you kind of just like shove them off like gently without going, listen, here's exactly why this isn't working for me, and I'm not going to see
Is
you
that
anymore.
called boundaries?
Yeah.
Oh,
that too.
boundaries.
That too. But, this isn't working for me because you are like, there's this guy that I met in Italy, and
The hunky guy.
they're all hunky.
It's
All of them.
Oh,
But
honey.
no, this one, he's actually really short. He's this musician and an actor and stuff, and I liked him at first, but he always winds up picking fights with me and getting really combative, and it's like, I don't even know you. And I met him once. He came over, and the sex was like okay, and like I said, he's short, beautiful body, but he's like short.
Oh, Jesus.
And so then after that, he like
short
wants to
man.
see me, and then he got
female
mad at
Randy
me
Newman. Go ahead.
because I hadn't like responded to him fast enough or some bullshit.
In bed?
No.
Oh.
When he texted me and wanted me, and I
Mari,
was
you want
busy.
to talk about the chakras?
No, I mean, I was working, I was busy, I was doing stuff, and I hadn't texted him back right away. He's like, you must not really like me. And I was like, dude,
Wow.
look, okay,
Back up his stuff.
here's the
Chill.
thing. I don't really know you, you don't really know me, and it's already, we're fighting. And we're not even really dating. We've had sex once, and this is not where I want to go with this. And
So
I
you told him
I'm sorry.
that.
I said, I'm really sorry, but this is not working for me.
Okay, I want to get the audience participation here because
Okay.
this is a hotbed topic. Topic.
Hotbed topic.
Hot button, hot bed, hot nipple.
Tits, hot everything.
Not to be confused with hot pockets.
Everybody, we are here. You're listening to Between the Sheets here on United Broadcasting Network in the lovely city of Burbank. We have Christina Cassel as our guest. You've got the crazies around us, including me. Here's the call-in number, 323-524-2599. Someone says I speak too quickly. So it's 323-524-2599. So call in. We want to hear. Trust me, secrets, lies, betrayal, omission, sex. It's all out there because relationships are really a very interesting journey.
I'd like to know what like people's hard pass is. Line.
What do you mean?
What do you mean?
hard?
Like if someone shares a secret with you, and you're like,
I can't
A
keep
deal
that.
breaker, you mean?
Yeah,
What's
yeah.
people's deal breakers?
Yeah, deal breaker,
Deal
hard
breaker in a
pass,
relationship?
in a
I'm not
relationship.
understanding.
Yes, in a relationship. If you're with someone and you're going along la 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 in your little relationship, and they sit you down, and they say, "Listen, I've been keeping a secret from you," and that secret is
Well, okay, cheating.
yeah okay.
Because that's because of my
Right,
past. So
right.
that because I knew that was not a good thing. And
Yep.
again, I only did it once. I would never even imagine doing it again. As long as I'm in a relationship.
right.
But cheating is my hard line.
Yeah.
It
is for me now,
I
too.
don't like to be led down a path.
Right.
And because my heart, when I commit to somebody, my heart is there.
Yeah.
It's not a lot of talk.
Yeah.
Actions For me, they would say actions speak louder than words, and I get that. For me, actions have to match words.
Yes.
I will never say anything I don't mean.
Right.
It is genuine. So if I'm all in, I'm all in. You
Right.
have all of me.
Right.
And it's not codependency. It's interdependency, where you still are autonomous.
Right.
But you can still be free and do your own shit. I don't want to do everything with my girlfriend.
Right.
I want my own fucking life. They have their own. It's healthy.
Yes.
So I'm all in.
Right.
But don't tell me you cheated. That would break me.
But what if it was somebody like you who has cheated in the past and only cheated once and learned from it and would never do it again?
No. Because I'm telling you, the relationship that I'm in will. When I'm in a relationship or I'm going to indulge in a relationship, I bear everything. I bear everything immediately. I tell them about the cheating. I tell them about the rape. I tell them everything about me.
Are
There
you
is no
saying if
fucking
they
mystery.
cheated on you?
They cheated on me.
Oh, I thought we
Oh.
thought you were saying if
Yeah.
they came and right off said, "Hey, when I was young or whatever,
No, I don't care.
cheated on
It's
someone."
That's
cheated.
what I thought you were
My
talking
bottom
about.
line in a
Cheated.
relationship is
If they cheat
if
on
they
you,
cheat on me.
Okay,
Got
It's
it.
done.
Okay,
You know,
yeah,
it's
totally.
done. I will not.
Thank
You can. Look, lie. I'm okay with if there's a good reason. I am pretty open and flexible with a lot of stuff.
Yeah, but you don't know how they are. How do you know what their boundaries are about what lies and what aren't really lies and what's really cheating and what isn't?
I had a
You know, you have
girlfriend
your own
once lie to
values, but
me
that
about
doesn't mean
drinking
anyone-
a Pepsi. And it was a big
Hold
deal,
on.
right?
All right, hold on.
She cheated on you because you drank
No,
a
no,
Pepsi?
no, no, no. She lied to me about drinking a Pepsi
Is it a
because
fucking full
Why was it a
moon
big
that
deal?
everyone's getting confused today on the panel? But no, it's,
I'm not confused.
No, I know. But what I'm saying is, okay, I'll give you another example. There was a woman that I dated, and it was long distance, and she's probably watching, so hello. Luckily, we're friends. But it was long distance, and long distance relationships are difficult. Okay, trust, huge. Especially if you're insecure, and God knows what your baggage is from the past. Trust is huge on a long distance relationship. And it got to the point in the beginning, which was a red flag. I'm going to work. I'm going to work late tonight. I don't believe you. I said, but I don't lie. Now, that's another pet peeve. If someone tells me I lie, that's a problem.
Yeah.
Because I will go to the end of the fucking earth to prove I'm not lying. She tells me I'm lying. And it got to be a pattern. And I allowed it. I allowed it because I thought, I love this woman.
Is this who I think you're talking about?
No.
No.
I would. It was two after that. I would. Oh, I think maybe. Yeah. So I would then go to work and take a picture
Oh my God.
and send it to her and say,
hell
"See,
That's
I'm
ridiculous.
working." To the point of, I don't believe you.
well, those are clearly her issues.
Yes, but it just was such an upsetment to me that someone was accusing me of lying and I wasn't, and I was going to prove this, that it drove, for a long time, it drove me batty. Until the
sure.
point of it became an abusive relationship, verbally abusive. And then there were lies from her, not me, because I was always pretty honest.
Right.
And but I realized she was the one that was lying to me.
Yeah.
And what a great way
And
to get
that's
you off the
usually
horse.
Well, because isn't it generally when they're accusing you
exactly.
of it, they're
They're doing it.
They're
guilty
They're
of it.
doing it.
Yeah.
Absolutely. I want to add to your question, which is I think the person has to know themselves. Because if they don't know themselves, then what we're talking about, like here, about this young woman, is that whatever has gone on, she's either projecting it on you or it's out of another relationship.
Yeah.
And that's what happens when you're in relationship is all
Baggage.
the past stuff comes up.
Yeah.
And so you've got to know, I believe, or I want to be with somebody that knows what their stuff is.
Yeah.
Right.
Well, that's why I completely, and I've been hurt. You know, I opened the book up very quickly, and I hope they do too.
Do they?
But
That's
maybe,
the
I
question.
mean, maybe we shouldn't. I mean, and not as far as lying or omission, but let's take a minute to get to know each other before, because I did that in a relationship. First date, I thought, listen, I'm going to be honest, and if this person will still be with me and they're still in, then we'll be just fine.
Right.
Right? That was a huge mistake.
Kind of like TMI.
Huge mistake.
Yeah, but the thing is, I mean, I don't know about you guys. I mean, what are your hard lines? Like mine is cheating. So let's go around the table. If you're in a relationship, what is the fuck you, I'm done? What is that? What would they have to do? Christina, I'll start with you.
Well, I said, and the relationship I was talking about was a cheating relationship. And I have to work with people that have cheated or betrayed or however you want to look at it. And back in when it happened to me, it was about 3 years into the marriage, I thought we could work it through.
But we always do. If we
and there's good people
what
that you can work it through with.
Yes.
If they're willing to look at their side of the street. And that's the key. And they're not going to lie anymore.
So ultimately, well, you got pregnant.
Yeah.
He said he'd take care of whatever. He'd
Right.
take care of you.
Right.
You're in the relationship. You have the baby.
Yes.
He is now cheating on you.
Yes.
How did you find out he was cheating?
I want to puke. I have a really good sense of what's up.
Well, just let me also start with Christina is an intuitive like most of us. So she's like the real deal.
So I knew.
Intuition.
You know in your gut.
The MF lied.
Did you say MF?
I did.
Do you mean motherfucker?
I did. Okay, because just so you know, MF now has two meanings. It's either motherfucker or mindfuck.
Oh,
So,
really?
yeah, it's either
I didn't know
mindfuck
that.
or
I
a
didn't know that
motherfucker.
either.
So
It was both.
okay.
Right.
Both.
It
Oh,
applies.
speaking of, I'm going to say this word. People don't like. I got to say it because I just thought of it. Since we're talking about cuss words, I feel like What's his name? George Carlin.
Yeah.
7 dirty words.
Right.
By the way, whenever you use the C word, it's actually a compliment.
It is in
It's a
Ireland.
compliment.
For
It's a compliment.
How so?
So just remember.
Not in the UK, darling.
No, it's not.
Ireland
But
it
look
is.
it up because a friend of mine and I were looking it up online, and it was, I don't know how we get into these things and we get into these really bizarre conversations. And I think I said the word. And then she did. Then we got off the phone, and she did much research on it, as she normally does, and sent it to me. And then I posted something on Facebook so that. And then I'll say the word now. Because you know that stupid thing is, the queens, we were all queens and we're all behind each other and we got to fix each other crowns. So I said, we cunts have to stick together and fix our crowns. And I think people freaked out about it. But then hopefully they read it. But FYI, if you're going to use the C word, only use it when you compliment someone. Okay,
What
now
a
go.
gorgeous
No.
cunt.
If you say bloody cunt in
But
Ireland,
it's
it's
such
an
a
endearing
great
term.
expletive. I love
It's
that
a
word.
great word, but it's and I don't want to go into cussing right now, but God knows,
And
we cuss it off, but we cut her off.
Yeah.
But I just want to say that.
Cunt.
Go ahead. Thank you. Thanks, Durga. Are you going to fix my crown?
Yes, I will fix your crown.
Go ahead, Christina.
Okay. So the worst part of him cheating was that I lost myself. I didn't trust myself, and it was like, and then I got obsessive because then
But how did you find out he cheated? Did you see him?
I went through his pockets and I found phone numbers, or
Oh,
I
wow.
found lipstick on the shirt, or
Oh my God! Just like the movie said.
totally, the old days. And he'd still say no.
Oh.
Oh, God, that's the
It
worst.
is the
Yes.
worst.
I think when somebody betrays or lies to you, the aftermath of what you said, not being able to trust yourself after that, the questioning of yourself is what is the most damaging when you start to
It
doubt
totally
yourself from
is.
then on out. Yeah.
Totally.
And then the damaging piece, I think for me in a relationship is when that person turns around and blames you.
Yeah.
Oh,
like,
yes.
Like you're talking about you come home, right?
Right.
A little frustrated maybe from work. And you're like, it's an hour-long commute. I'm so over it. I'm really, really, really tired. I'm tired of the commute. And that person turns around and looks at you and goes, well, you said we could move to LA. You said we could do this. You said, and then starts just this rant about about you, and you're like, how did we get to that? So is that sort of, I don't know if they call that gaslighting. I don't know what they call that.
Yeah.
But in an affair, a lot of times that happens too. So they'll say, oh, you're just imagining things.
Yep.
Or you're just
exactly
making it up. Or you're just jealous.
That's
you're
right,
so
you're
insecure
jealous.
and you are the jealous one.
Yes.
Yeah.
And
Right.
being as young as I was, you're not pretty enough. You're not skinny enough.
He told you that?
No,
Or this
yeah.
is stuff in your head?
What an asshole.
Well, in my head.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, in my head. But
okay.
also, I went down to 90 pounds.
Oh, wow.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
Isn't it amazing? Like even the most beautiful celeb women get cheated on.
Oh, everybody.
Yeah, everybody.
Yes.
It's like
Because, the thing is, and I've always said, and I've said this about me, we're functionally dysfunctional. It's just what level of fucked up dysfunction
Right.
are we?
Right.
And when you get in a relationship, you could be getting into a relationship with someone that's a little bit more than you, and then I get into the pattern where, because I've got my own shit. And maybe we're both fucked up, but we're fucked up on different
Right.
levels.
In
So it's not
different
like
ways.
one's more fucked up than the other. But it's finding that balance to
Right.
try and work it out, possibly. And I'm that person to to really try and work things out, if I love somebody.
Yeah.
Because I know I've got this rough exterior and I'm tough. But literally, I am probably the softest, gentlest pushover doormat ever.
You're a marshmallow.
I am. And there's no surprise why been a doormat my whole fucking life.
But the thing is, I mean, two
But I have
people
hope.
No, and I agree with you. I agree with you because I feel very much like that. I've always heard through like spiritual things and whatever that people come into your life and they do hit your buttons, but they hit your buttons so that you can work on them, right?
Yep.
And what we hope for, or what I hope for, is that person that comes into my life. And yes, we're going to aggravate each other. And yes, we're going to argue. And yes, we're going to hate each other every now and then. You know what I mean? But to come back together and to be able to work
it out.
together, right? And go, you know what? I was shitty. I love you. You know what I mean? Like,
But I'm spiritual
It has
too.
has to then come back together as 50-50,
Right.
where you're both in.
That's
You're
the
both
problem.
in.
You have
but
to
if
be
you're
both
not really in, but one person's in,
Exactly.
But
and one
there's-
person's forgiving you, and then the other person
But
really
that's
isn't
the
in.
problem.
They're still lying.
But that's the problem.
Oh, right,
but that's
right.
the problem I believe with relationships is, you all come in off balance. You get to know each other, but there's this chemistry, there's this synchronicity. There is this draw, because I do believe people are brought together for the
a
reason. I
reason.
do also believe in soulmates. I
Yes.
do believe in that. And there is not, and I've met a lot of women. I've dated not so many, and but I've met a lot of women. Very rarely, and I would only say probably once in my life, did someone touch me the way that shook me off my feet. And I realized with that person, because I talk about love, I know what now love is. And it's a really beautiful place to be. But, I also believe in relationships. Even though you're coming in off balance, it's to find that synchronicity. But both people have to work on it, and sometimes people don't want to work at it out of fear,
Yes.
out of whatever their issues are. And big thing is trust. It's everybody's been fucked over.
but there can't be secrets, lies, and betrayal in that relationship.
No,
Let's
but
Not
once
if it's
you
gonna
have
work.
the secret, lies, and betrayal, then here you are coming into a relationship. Everybody at this table has fucking trust issues. The world has trust issues. So you're walking into an unknown that you want to be safe, and you trust that person to be as present and whatever as you are to
well,
them,
to come with the same intentions that
with
you
the
have.
same
Yeah.
intentions, and then
integrity.
integrity. I mean,
That's
we
a
can
great
go down the list, but there's a lot of relationships where there is an imbalance.
Yeah.
And there's the fixer and the person that kind of wants the fixing. And what I have found out, and this
But
is
then hate you for
I
it.
hate you for it, because what happens is
Punish you for it.
yes,
Oh, yes.
because
Yeah,
what
you're so
happens
nice to me.
yes, because what
Fuck you.
happens is the relationship starts. Then that schematic is now set. So the person who loves that person is going to help them, love them enough to fix them the fuck into being healthy. Because you think you're healthy. But then what happens? No, I know. But then what happens, and this is my point of this, is usually the person then gets stronger. The person who needs the fixing gets stronger. And then they kick your fucking ass to the curb because they don't need you anymore.
Well,
Or-
I think they resent you.
You think
That's
so?
yes, they resent the fact that you're right in telling them what to do, and they feel dependent. And then, of course, they do get better, and then they resent you. I want to add last week's topic, because I think the betrayal is also a learning opportunity, and you can lose that in the relationship. But I believe that we have lived for a long time, all of us. And especially, when you get up there and you have the intuitional thing. And I believe my ex-husband gave me my career. So I am totally grateful for that.
Right.
He did have bipolar disorder, which I didn't know what the heck was.
Well, was it even diagnosed
Nobody
back then?
did then.
No.
That was manic,
Was it
right?
manic
More
depressive?
manic.
Yeah, well,
Yes,
definitely
they
in
call
the
it manic.
sexual acting out. That was
Yeah.
manic,
Right.
right? And in the lying, too.
Yeah.
Now, when do you
My husband
think?
was bipolar too.
Really?
Oh, maybe mine was. Who
I
knows?
think sometimes it's okay. It's definitely okay to have some secrets.
Like when?
Yeah.
Okay, give me an example.
a good
Because
example.
a good example.
A good secret.
Well, I just
No,
feel.
you're going to say this. You better put out.
I feel. I feel that I have an inner life going on inside me, and it's nobody else's business, and no one has the right to know every single thing about
agree.
what's going on in my psyche. So I don't feel I
Do you
owe
think
anybody.
that's a secret?
But that's
though?
not really.
See, I don't
I've
even
got a
think-
great
Yeah.
example of
I
that.
don't for me, I have a perfect example. So I did something when I was younger that I definitely should not have done. And I guess I'll come out to the world, whatever. I gave a guy a head in Greece for some hash, and I never got it, right? It's a big deal. That's a huge secret of mine, right?
Okay.
Not
was
anymore.
I was on a lot of Demerol in the hospital one day, and I told my mother, apparently.
Nice.
No.
Right? So there are sometimes that secret should not be told,
Right.
and that is something my mother never needed to know about.
Correct.
me, okay, so
Right.
yeah,
Right.
that's
Right.
that is one great example.
But that's not. But the thing is, even though you told your mother, it's not hurting your mother.
Yes, it
I
did.
think it did.
Yes, it did.
I think
Well,
it
no, I
did.
think
Do you
you're
think
right.
that didn't shatter her view of who her beautiful daughter was? I mean, come on.
Well,
of course it hurt
I
her.
mean, you're gay, right? And that didn't shatter her.
Not as much as me giving a guy head in Greece for
For
hash.
hash.
I mean, come on.
I think it's pretty cool. That is cinematic right there.
That's funny.
And I'm writing a book, so there you have it.
I
figure
think
whatever.
where you don't tell a secret is when, as you get older, obviously you've been with people, you don't talk about all the
other
goings
people.
on. Yeah,
All the
because
what?
people can't get
Yeah.
your
The other
past
people.
relationships in terms of the sexuality.
Not unless they ask and they really want to know.
I mean,
Well-
sometimes
I don't
it's
think
important
most
to
Yeah.
know.
people can handle it.
I have a perfect example.
Okay.
So I was in Italy. I was in Venice, and my husband was at home. I was, I guess, I was probably getting near. I was perimenopausal. So any of you who've been through that know sometimes you're really hormonal, and in my case, some women like lose their libido. In other cases, their body's like, run for the border. This is our last shot at having a baby. I was so horny. I was so horny, and I was
opposite.
bleeding. I was bleeding like really heavily. So I had like a pad on.
All right,
and
we
a-
don't need to do
and-
the details.
Well, no, because it's important. So
okay.
it was a big festival. The Festa del Redentore is a big holiday, and they have fireworks, and everybody's like out all night. And
Get
and
to the point.
I got on the water bus, and it was packed full of people, and I was leaning on the rail, and this guy was standing behind me, and the boat was moving, and I don't know how we wound up. I just started kind of pressing my hip against him, and then he started
sounds
pressing against
good.
me. Oh, it was fabulous.
Lovely.
And we were just moving with the motion of the boat, and it was so erotic. And then but then he started to like reach, like he wanted to do more, and I pushed his hand away. I never looked at his face. I never saw who he was.
Wow.
And then I got off and
Kinda
went on my
sexy.
way. It was so, and it was like,
That's called a zipless fuck.
yeah, exactly. But we didn't fuck. It was just the perfect amount of erotic for what
And
was
that's
going on.
something that you don't think that.
I would never have told my husband that in a million years because it didn't matter. I wasn't
Yeah.
cheating on him. It was
Yeah.
just a moment in
Of
time.
eroticness.
I would never have cheated on him.
but that's not a cheating.
Well,
But still, it was enough of a secret.
did Bill
It was
Clinton
enough that
have
I
sex?
knew not to tell my husband because if I told him, I was grinding on some random dude on the water bus in
you
Venice,
know, if I
he
had
would
done
never
that-
have gotten over it.
But you go ahead.
If I had done that, I would have felt like I was cheating.
I would have too.
So, I mean,
But
that's
it was
just
like a
me,
No
line.
judgment, though,
It was
Durga.
no,
We
it was
love
it
you.
was skirting a line. It was skirting a line.
Yeah.
And like for me, I feel lucky at this table right now. I have never really been cheated on. I have never had
yeah,
trust
me neither.
issues.
I
in
I
a
have never been
relationship.
cheated on too, but I did it once.
See, and I've never cheated on anyone because that's just like I've never had that experience, and I'm really grateful that I haven't.
I
So-
figure it had to happen because that's how it makes me me. No, I mean, but it's seriously, it's like, I don't know, like it is, and it is subjective to what's a fine line, what's a secret, what's an omission. Omission. I mean, to me, I don't know why, but omissions really are worse than lies. Because someone is telling you something.
They're manipulating you.
Thank you.
They're manipulative.
And that's the thing. And
I
for
don't know
me,
if they're
an
worse.
I don't
I
know.
don't think
they're
but
worse. They're
omission is
manipulative.
different. I mean, I don't know. I maybe this, and again, we're all different, and maybe I need to learn from you guys. But this has always been because they are like a lie to me is just a lie. An omission is when they're telling you something. Like a lie is no, I didn't go out with Bob. Okay, I didn't
you went
date
out with
Bob,
Bob.
but you went out with Bob. That's a lie. But I went out with Bob, and we had a good time. And then later I find out they actually fucked. See, that is a problem. That is what that is my
Okay. Well,
that
that's-
is
yeah.
omission.
but that no, it's an
That is
omission.
an omission.
It's an
Your
omission.
interpretation of what a good time is.
because they're leading you to they're telling you the truth, so they're
But-
not lying
between
to
the
you.
lines,
Right.
good time.
They're not speaking.
kinda
They're not
telling you.
speaking a lie, so
Yeah.
therefore they don't really believe they're
Telling a
lying.
lie.
They're just not telling the whole truth.
Right.
But the hot button is they keep the good part out.
Right. Or the sensitive
The
part.
sensitive part out. And then, you I don't know. Things come to me. We're going to talk about intuition. There's a book that I'd been reading, or a friend of mine also has been telling about. It's to go with your gut, go with your intuition as the first step. Never really doubt that. And human nature, we second guess ourselves. And I think it has to do with our conditioning of trauma, of mistrust, of just baggage that we come to terms with, that we really don't trust our own
Well,
instincts.
some people don't, but some do. Like I really do trust mine now. Even the worst is, I've said this many times on the show before, the worst is when you get an intuition about not trusting someone and there's no reason for that. And you don't know why.
Right.
Yeah.
But then
you-
if
then
you're
you
with
really-
someone, they'll say you're crazy. You're crazy. You're the crazy one because why would you think that? What have I've done nothing. I mean, you know what I mean?
I mean,
but
there's
you
so
still
much
have that
when you
little
say
gnawing
bye.
thing in your gut that
But
won't go away.
sometimes that is your own insecurity.
Right.
And your
Sometimes it
own
can be.
mistrust. And
Sometimes it
sometimes
can.
it's your intuition.
Yeah,
so
it's up
it's
to
hard
you.
to know which
It's
one
up
is
to
which.
you to know.
Yeah.
To look at yourself, to really look at it and go, is this an insecurity
Yeah.
or and a lot of times when I don't trust somebody, it's something I can't even control. It's like my stomach gets sick around them. It's like,
yeah, but the more times you've been a doormat, the more times you've been lied to, the more times you've been hurt. I'm sorry.
well, I think because I saw the person I wanted to see, which there's a quote on
Yeah, oh,
something
God.
you
Yes.
brought here, Cara.
Yes, Cara, why don't you read the quote?
To the one, where's the one about, oh, this one. It's this one.
I'm not crying because of you. You're not worth it.
Oh.
I'm crying because my delusion of who you were was shattered by the truth of who you are.
Oh my god!
Oh, boy.
What is that from?
Where did you get that?
This was an article on betrayal, which is pretty damn good.
But we do.
Sometimes the person you take a bullet for is behind the trigger.
Right.
Yeah, I've heard that one
That's a
before.
good one.
I rest my
Damn.
case
Yeah,
on
right.
that one.
Yeah.
That's a good one.
But
That's a good one.
can we talk openly as much as you want? I mean, your husband cheated on you many times.
Yes.
And so Cara knows this. And did he? And how? And most of the times you didn't. Did he tell you, or did you find out about it behind his back?
No, he didn't tell me. He took his time. He told me when it was impossible to change anything in our relationship because I just bought a house. That's when he told me. I just bought a house. What am I going to do? Throw him out and like be in a big house alone? So I forgave him.
Wow.
And I did forgive him. And I truly did.
Some
forgive
people
him.
do forgive their cheating
But
partners.
you can. I mean, now that I'm.
But it went on and on.
But it went on and on.
However many times it went on from there, I have no idea.
Yeah.
I mean,
So,
isn't it
Christina-
true once a cheater, always a cheater?
No.
Yeah, I
that's
think
not
so.
true.
Bullshit.
That's not always
That's
true.
not true. That
and
is-
I'm not a cheater.
That's bullshit.
No, my ex-girlfriend, well, my first partner, when she cheated on me. And I think the worst thing, more than the cheating, was the blaming of it. Like, I would find a note in the pocket, like, oh, can't wait to see you later. And she was a restaurant manager. She was like, honey, you know all those kids always leave notes for each other, and I find them on the table, and I just stick them in my pocket.
Oh, wow.
I believed that.
Wow,
Of
that's
course.
smooth.
dog.
Yeah.
Yeah, girl. But I mean,
But she never cheated again, and she never would have. She cheated. We went through it. We
because
got therapy.
hold on 1 second.
Yeah.
That, my dear, is a judgment.
Wait, what?
I
What
know,
did she
and
say?
that's why I brought it
a
up.
cheater
Oh.
is
It's
always a cheater.
cheater. No.
That's a judgment.
No, I think not.
And I don't believe that because I think if anybody has a conscience, and I know I do, and I'm speaking for myself, once you do it, you feel really like gross.
Some people do.
I don't
Some
think
people
everybody
don't.
knows
Some people
yourself.
don't.
I don't think
Well, I
everybody
know,
does.
but I'm just saying, for me,
Or-
that's why it's a judgment. I will never lie. I will never cheat again.
Well, that's because you're a
But
decent
some
person.
people will, some
but
people
like
won't.
someone I was with, used to my ex. I wrote a song about him called "Sycophant Junkie" because he was that kind of person that when you first were in love and your eyes sparkled when you looked at him, he drank that like sustenance. And the minute that first time comes along where you look at him and you're like, he sees that look in your eye where you're thinking, you ain't shit. He goes to the next person.
Was he
To
a
get that thrill,
Was
to
he a
get that-
narcissist? I know we're not
Definitely.
supposed to
Oh,
use
total
the N word,
What?
but that's so
Total
narcissistic.
narcissist.
Did someone say a word that I never want to hear?
I would never
again?
have said that.
You know,
Well, he is.
there's another quote that's staring me in the eye that I keep seeing. Can I read it?
Yeah, sure.
Okay, this is really interesting because it's about friendship.
Bless you.
Bless you.
It says, it is more shameful to distrust our friends than to be deceived by them. Confucius. So, I mean, I think that's interesting because that quote is saying that you really are doing people a disservice to distrust them. And he's going far enough to say it's worse than if they deceived you if you come at it that way.
So distrusting is worse than deceiving.
That's what Confucius is
and that's
saying.
why he's dead.
I think he means,
Maybe his friends poisoned him.
I know, right? Also, give him the poison apple.
You
He's
want
saying
to trust.
Friend.
Yeah.
He's saying friend. He's not saying romantic.
But
or,
still,
Yes,
but
still
even,
be
but I have
betrayed
to
by
tell
a
you
friend.
something too. Yes, betrayal. I think in general. I mean, I am closer to. I mean, a relationship because again, friends to me are really important. They are family to me. Those relationships have always run deeper than my romantic
Oh,
relationships.
the friendship ones? Oh, those can hurt like hell.
That's what I'm saying. So, to be lied to by a friend, to be betrayed by a friend.
Because you've given a friend, usually when there's no romance involved, all your truest self. Like you're not putting on any acts.
right.
You're being who you are because this is your best friend. And
Yeah.
so something like a betrayal can stab you. You never recover from that.
Right, but
but to be dumped by a friend
is worse.
at your worst ebb,
Or
Yeah,
to have to
that is
dump
just
a friend.
pure
Or to have
mean.
to dump
I'm
a
I
friend.
just had
sorry.
to dump a friend.
I mean, I will put up with my friends. I will put up with a lot.
Yeah.
Okay.
Of
I will
course,
put
because
up
they
a
put
lot-
up with a lot with us.
Sure. Exactly.
And we do
Although-
the same
Two-way
for
street.
them. But they
Exactly.
should not ever dump you
No.
at your
No.
worst time in your life.
No.
No.
But don't you have some friends that
No
tell you
friends.
lies that you just kind of know that they're liars and it's
Yes,
okay?
of
Like you're
course.
like
No.
accept them for who they are,
Well,
and they
some
know
people
that
do
they
tell
tell little
lies.
white
Yeah,
lies.
but I don't
all
think
the
those
time,
aren't
You
the
mean-
people that we I don't think those are the people
We.
family.
Do you
I
mean
mean,
people
those
that
are
I'm talking
exaggerate?
about people that
Yeah,
I
well,
have
really?
known for 30, 40 years. Yeah.
Well, then
Yeah,
for
me
me,
too.
then they're not true friends.
Right.
No,
They're
they're
true
just, that's
friends.
just
They
their
just lie. That's
personality.
just who they are.
Yeah,
Yeah.
you know,
You
Delisha
know?
brings up a
Why
point.
are you saying that lying is okay?
That's just who they are. Sometimes that's just who people are.
They
You
need
know,
to live
I
in their
like women.
fantasy.
That's just who I am. I mean, I can't-
Yeah.
All right, hold
What-
on.
what do
Hold on. I want to get a professional.
Yeah, I want to
here.
see what
Yes.
she thinks.
Your turn, Christina.
In the mic, though.
In the mic.
Thank you.
Is it okay of what she's saying? I really want to get your opinion what Delisha says.
Sorry, because we had a lovely conversation, but I don't think it's a good idea to lie.
No, I'm not saying it's a
No.
good idea.
No,
I'm just
I
saying
know.
that
You're
people
accepting that.
People go through life sometimes telling little white lies.
Or exaggerating.
I'm sorry to
White
call
lies,
you
I
out,
think-
my nephew who I raised, but Macaulay, my nephew, tells little white lies all the time, and he tells them to me, and I know that he's lying to me.
But you're never-
He
but
does it
does he
because
know you know?
Yeah, I don't know.
You should make sure he does.
I don't
Yes,
know.
You should make sure he knows.
Because
Yeah.
I mean,
Sometimes
we're
I
talking,
call him on it, but he gets really defensive. So I'm like, all right, dude.
Liars
like-
usually do.
Right, exactly.
Well,
Yeah.
but you're like supporting this behavior.
No,
Correct.
No.
Well,
Yeah,
yeah,
you
you are.
and
You
we're
are.
I
Because-
like to live in a fantasy, right?
Yeah.
And the fantasy
That's true.
involves lying about what's going on
Okay.
really
But
in your
there's
life.
something to pick your battles too.
there's that's all true,
Yeah.
and we have to worry about narcissism developing, about borderline personality developing. So there are definitely things that are character traits that people lie. So yes, there are white lies, and everybody tells them. But I guess if you're aware of them, then my thought is also other people are aware of them.
Plus, I'm sorry to cut you
That's
off.
okay.
I was, yeah.
So that I think that would be a good conversation to have with him, because if you're aware, then other people are aware, and I think it's a good idea.
But what if you have the conversation and there are pathological liars? They don't even know that they're lying.
That's
Yeah,
true.
that's-
There's nothing you can do about
But
that.
those aren't the people you want to be around, are they?
Well,
I mean, even if
sometimes-
it's family, I mean, that's enough. Like, I can't do this with you.
But sometimes they don't mean anything. They're just like, "Why are you lying about this? It's so
But,
stupid.
but
it doesn't
don't
mean anything."
I know.
You know?
I get it.
But there's manipulation.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Malicious
That's-
intent.
Yes,
Yeah.
Control.
all of those things.
If
And I
someone
suppose
has a
he's
problem,
practicing.
It's also
And a way, I don't know how old he is, but if he's practicing
24.
on you and getting
he's 24.
He's old
getting away
enough.
with it.
Oh,
Yeah.
Lord.
no,
It could get
I thought he was a
worse.
child.
No, but he
This
had a
is
rough
bad.
life. He had a rough
This is
life.
bad.
I raised him, so I raised him from the time he was 13 onward. But I mean, and it was something I had to try and undo because it was something he learned to
Right.
cheat the system from his parents. You know, so it was like I had to kind of undo. But they're like little oh, I see $1 on the floor. It's mine. I found it. Oh, there's a ball on
At
the floor.
24?
No. I'm
Okay.
talking like
I
when
was
he
gonna
was
say,
a child.
he needs to see a therapist. Take Christina's card.
No,
I mean,
when he was a child, we would go to the toy store and he would see a ball out of place and he'd be like, "I found it. It's mine now." And I'm like, "No, that's not how it works."
But I want to get back to Christina, what she was saying about people lying about, and that is manipulation.
Right.
It's control.
And it can be shame.
And a defense mechanism.
Exactly.
you
So
mean they're
wait,
lying
they're-
because
All right,
they're
hold
ashamed.
on. I want to hear.
No, I know,
want
but
to
I-
hear what Christina says.
How do they have shame? The liar has shame.
The liar has shame. I'm going to tell you my lie because I told you that I was pregnant. And then I started thinking, what did I lie about? Oh, my God, this is so embarrassing. He happened to be Mormon. And so you know how they come around to the house. And
Did he have
always
magic
trying to-
underwear? Did you get to see the magic underwear? I'm just saying.
I know. They were two young guys. I told them that I was married a year before I was.
Oh, so they wouldn't figure it out.
So they wouldn't figure it out. But, those guys checked the records.
Oh.
They come back to me.
Oh yeah, Mormons got all the records.
Oh,
Did they?
yes. They came back to me and said, I think so. And I'm
You're like, no.
bold-faced lie. I went that was my last one.
Wow.
But, in this whole thing with my parents and that whole
Shame,
thing.
right?
Shame, 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 shame. Exactly.
But do you think people lie also, besides manipulation, control, because they're in fear.
Oh, for sure.
Fear of
loss.
But who of us
Dan,
isn't?
wait a
For
minute. Where do
instance,
we
if-
live? Where do we live? We live in Hollywood.
Yeah, I know, but we've got 40,000 people listening to us, and they're
Yeah.
all over the world. So
No, I'm saying just because we live in Hollywood, this is how this town runs. Everybody lies.
But the thing is,
To
this
look
is,
better.
But this is not only Hollywood.
Of course
you go to
not.
fucking bumfuck Idaho
Yes, it's
or
the same
Wisconsin.
thing.
Which
No
I'm
offense,
real,
Idaho.
No offense. No offense.
I wasn't saying.
Iowa, Arkansas.
people
I
do
mean,
the same
People
thing.
do the same things. It has nothing to do with being in fucking Hollywood. So
No.
that's why. What's the rudimentary of why people lie?
Well, you
Fear.
said fear and
I
shame.
And I think fear
I
and
was,
shame.
I was just saying
There's
this is
a
a
huge one.
crystal example of it is the way people operate in this town.
But but again, you're just talking about this town. I understand,
It's
but the people
global.
that I'm
Of course, it's global. You're missing my point.
I know, I get your fucking
One
point. We're in
second.
LA.
One
Welcome to
second.
Hollywood. Have a nice day.
Let the therapist talk.
Look at our government.
Oh God.
I don't want to necessarily go there.
No.
But when I was 7 years old, I watched them on TV and I said they're lying. I'm not going to listen
Yeah.
to
Yeah.
them.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know, and most of us can, well, hopefully most of us can figure that out.
But then,
Can I
Sadly
say
not.
something about like confronting somebody with a lie? If
Yes.
they're telling a lie because they're ashamed of something, if it's not a big deal, why do you want to confront them and make them feel worse already?
But
about
you
what
don't
they're
know. But you
lying
don't know
about?
because I am not a motherfucking psychic, and I don't know what motivated them to tell the lie, whether it was fear, control, manipulation, or shame. So I think I have the right, if I find something, to be nice about it, not accusatory, not confrontational, and say, hey, you know what? You and be it with and give it with love.
This doesn't add
It's
up.
not
Yeah.
gonna. I'm not gonna get mad. I'm not. I just want to know, to get to know you better, what the rationale is, so I can get to know what that person's meter is.
I know, but if they're already feeling ashamed,
How
of
do I
something-
know that? How
But
do you
no,
fucking know that?
because there's never an excuse for bad behavior. There's never an excuse for bad
See,
behavior.
I'm a little
and
better than
sometimes
you.
there
I
is.
give people a lot of chances because I look
you
for
can
that.
still give them chances.
I know, but I look for, because I don't automatically think someone's a dick and is going to lie to me to fuck me over. I never, ever once think that when someone's lied to me. I think, what was their background? What are they dealing with? What's the story?
But it's like what you're saying, Delisha, I think, and it's not. Yes, they feel shame, right? And you're like, well, I don't want to make them feel worse. Like, why would I say something? Because it's codependent in that if they were an alcoholic and they were ruining their lives with alcohol, and you're still
that's-
enabling them,
That's a different situation.
It's not different.
No,
It's different than my nephew like dropping out of college and not wanting to tell me because he was ashamed of it. That's totally different than being in an alcoholic codependent relationship. I'm
So
sorry.
wait a minute. So
wait,
what did
totally
you do in that situation?
I confronted him with it, and when his friends told me that his friends are the ones who messed up after I had bought him a car and he was taking his driver's license test to drive that car home, and during that time his friends screwed up and told me that he wasn't in school anymore. And I flipped my lid. The first thing I did was call my boss. What do I do? Because she raised 4 boys on her own. And she's like, just like, give him the benefit of the doubt. It was really, really hard. But I did confront him. And he did tell me I was so ashamed. I told other people, but I didn't want to tell you, Auntie. I didn't want to tell because I'm so embarrassed. I want to make you proud.
Well, and that
I'm
was a
like,
beautiful
why?
way to handle
That's
it.
Right,
totally
exactly.
different than someone
But wasn't
being
he
an
relieved
alcoholic.
at that point?
No, he was still afraid and he was like, I don't know what my aunt's going to do because I was pretty strict when I raised him. But
Christina?
Yeah, but I also think the fact that you did it in that way, and you didn't scream and yell and beat him up and all.
Oh,
of
I
those
wanted
kinds
to.
of course, but and I think there's a way. And I actually learned this in doing therapy. I had someone come in and tell me this most horrendous story about how they had been abused by their babysitter, didn't even know what sex was, got pregnant at 11. Their parents sent them away. She then got polio, rolled around in a car. I mean, this is really, after the session, I just went in and vomited.
Yeah.
It was
Wow.
just so
Yeah.
awful. But it wasn't making sense. And so I said, and I put all the pieces together and I said, I don't quite understand, how this, and then they burst into tears. So I think that's the way that if you're really kind and just say, your friends told me something, and I want to believe you, and I know that we've had these, there's a way to do it lovingly.
It's always out of love. I mean,
Yeah.
you have to really, I mean, how you deal with people should really be solely from love.
Absolutely.
From the beginning. And, because no one is better than us, we are all equal. And I think with love, compassion, kindness, understanding. And I know maybe you guys are going, you're blowing shit out of your ass. But that's how I try to live my life,
It's just a little hard when the incident happens. You got to go through your own
stuff
before you reach that point.
But isn't it better? But isn't it better to sit there? And I know I'm learning this. I'm still learning this shit. To take a beat, to take a break,
If you
to
can,
take a,
if you
to
can
take
do
a,
that.
to take a time out,
Totally.
to take because
you don't want to be reactive.
and that's that is my problem. I become reactive,
But,
and it's been a long time. I've been working on it. But when something hits my trigger, it is, and it's
You and everybody else.
and yeah, but I know, but I mean, but it's about take a pause.
Yeah,
Practice the pause.
Right.
Practice the pause.
also-
Self-care is really important too.
really important. But again, when you found out about your nephew, when you found out about your nephew, you could have said, "Oh my gosh, I am so shocked. I need to think about this." You don't have to respond immediately.
Right.
I wanted to say there's another area where we are all sometimes guilty of omission, and that's when there's someone in your life and they have a serious problem and you just don't say anything.
Oh, yeah, of
Yeah.
course. Sometimes it's for survival. You can't.
And sometimes, unfortunately, it is out of compassion. And it is out of compassion for that person because you
I
want
don't think it is.
I don't think so either. I don't think we're
I think
helping
it's
that
because
person.
I think
don't
it's
think so
because
either.
you're too chicken shit to actually go up and say something.
But if I agree with you. Give me an example. Like
Yeah,
what
what's
would
the
the thing
example?
be?
The other night I went out to dinner with some friends and a friend and two people that they were with, and one of the men at the table, it was really apparent very quickly that he was really drunk. So drunk, in fact, that at one point he actually leaned over and vomited at the table.
Oh.
Yeah, it was bad.
Oh
And
my good God.
yeah, and so his
How
friend,
embarrassing.
yeah,
Alcohol
yeah.
so acceptable.
His friend, cleaned him up, and we kind of, handled it and took him away. And then my friend that I'd come with, we stayed. And I said, and he said, so I don't know really how to handle this. I think, maybe I should say, so do you think you have a drinking problem? And I said, no. He knows he has a drinking problem. What you say now is, so that happened. Are you ready to deal with this?
Or how can I help you?
Well, yeah.
Well,
that too.
we've got yes, alcoholism is a huge thing. And I will never yell at my friends. I will never try and force something.
No.
But I will be there for them. I will always be there for them. And if we're at an event or something, I will take care of them. Now, not that they have asked me to,
Right.
but I love them enough that I
Yeah.
don't want them to do that.
I've done it more than once.
And as you know, there was a person that you and I both know
Yeah.
that was in denial.
Yeah.
And every time we discussed going alcohol, it was in denial, to the point where I even said, oh, actually, you would know this person, that it's, I said, I will go with you to AA. I will go with you because maybe I have a problem too, because I was drinking a lot more too. But
Right.
the difference was I stopped. I
Right.
could stop.
Right.
They could
That's
not.
exactly
Well,
Right.
now you're getting into addiction. So there's
yeah,
all
a whole
sorts of
different thing.
different. There's the lie, betrayals, and secrets topic, and
Yes.
then there's addiction and the
whole
whole.
different
But with
other
addiction,
No,
but with addiction comes
lies, betrayal, and
mission.
yeah.
That's a whole
secret.
different animal.
That's
But
true.
it is how you deal with it. But the basic bottom line is whenever there's an issue in someone's life that they don't want to confront, no matter whether it's an addiction or a cheating this or a lie, that's what their go-to is to secret, lie, betrayal, omission. Because
Gin and
that's a
tonic.
because that's a fucking exact and a gin and tonic. Because that is a coping
Bong load.
that
Yeah, so-
unfortunately is a coping mechanism
Right.
that we go to because it's accepted. It doesn't mean it's acceptable.
Right.
It's just accepted. So I guess, Christina, when confronted, no matter what the issue is, whether it's addiction or whatever, when confronted with someone who is consistently lying, and not knowing what's behind it, shame, embarrassment, they're a runner,
Personality
they're scared
disorder.
of a relationship, they don't want to deal with their feelings, they're hiding their alcoholism.
They need to manipulate you.
They need to manipulate
Or they have a
you.
personality
Keep
disorder.
going. We can go
Yeah,
on and
for
on
whatever.
and on.
For any reason.
For any reason, how do you and you're emotionally attached, whether it's a friend, a lover, a family member. How do you, besides taking a beat, how do you deal with that? Because it's that person that you love, you don't want to give up on, but you don't want to leave or abandon.
I'm thinking of a client that I had that I really, really liked, a very handsome man.
Did you fuck him?
That's so wrong.
That is so wrong.
So wrong.
Sorry, I was.
That's confidential.
Someone said to keep humor in this room tonight. So.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay, go ahead.
Okay. So, his first session, he came into me, and he, on his wedding night, had gone downstairs in the hotel and hooked up with somebody.
Yeah.
And this is the story that, what do you call it? Serial, cheating. Serial cheating.
Mm-hmm.
So my head is spinning with this story. And the next week, his wife comes marching in with him.
Oh shit!
And I'm going to myself, really, I didn't know what went on. I'm not a part of this. And what I told him was, you have to stop lying.
Yeah.
Every time you say something and you make a mistake and it's 1/10 off the truth, go back and change it. If it's 2 minutes later, if it's an hour later, but you must do that every single time. Mm-hmm. Every single time. And that's what has to be.
So you know what I agree with, okay?
Yeah.
Here's what I agree. If you're in a relationship and there's a discourse or whatever, but one thing I do agree, if you're in a relationship and the couple is on the same page and they choose to keep things secret, to lie to other people as a unit because it protects something of them, then I think that's okay to do because you've got an agreement.
In fact, I advise
Like if I'm going to
people
date
don't-
you,
right?
and I don't want someone to know I'm dating you.
Yeah.
As long as, but we're really dating. It's a relationship.
right,
it's
right.
not like it's fucking around. And we want to keep it sacred and safe. I'm okay with keeping that under wraps, until I know it's secure, too.
Mm-hmm.
I have to make sure it's secure because I hate when people start to date, and we all know these people, pictures up on Facebook, all this shit. We're dating, and like 3 days later, it's gone.
Yeah.
And then you get all the, and then you get the passive-aggressive bullshit on Facebook. She cheated, she lied, he did this, he did that as an Instagram. And, but I do believe, and I said this, my next relationship, I'm going to keep it really sacred if I believe that it's something that's going to be. I really am going to keep it quiet.
Slow
It's nice.
and sacred.
I can't.
Right.
Yeah.
But not hidden.
Hey, Gaye,
Not hidden.
would that be a first, though?
I know. I was
Yeah.
going to say, good
I
luck,
can't.
girl.
Oh, no. My first girlfriend, we were in law school. And we were both it was our first relationship ever, and we just came out as gay because we really weren't sure. So that was also in the 80s. It wasn't a time of carrying your fucking flag and going, I'm a lesbian. So I had to keep that, and by the way, in the 80s, you know me, to keep my life a secret and who I was, that I had to pretend to be straight when guys made passes at me. And I never did the date thing, okay, with the guys. I always made an excuse. But what I ended up doing is buying a wedding band. And I wore the wedding band.
Wow.
This is when I was still with my girlfriend.
That's a lie.
That was a lot. But I didn't want to be confronted and bothered by these men. And then to come out at the time, if you ever said you were a lesbian, straight men
They took that as a challenge.
Yeah,
out
challenge.
there.
Every
A challenge,
single
or
time.
hey, dude,
Right.
hey, you know a
Are you
friend?
Maybe you
Sure.
just
Can we
haven't
do it?
had good
Can we have a
sex.
threesome?
Or
You just
can
haven't
we
had the right guy.
Or can we have a threesome?
Right.
And then, you know, let's do a threesome. I mean, I had somebody, I was managing, God, I'll say it. I was managing Terry and Martha. And this one guy, I know his name and I'm not going to say it. He was the road manager. First name's Pierre. You probably know who he is. His name is Pierre. I don't know his last name. He was on me like a fly on shit and like trying to move up in my business. And, you know, and I was single at the time. You know, I was like after my second girlfriend. And he called me up one night. Because you know how you get the crew list and everybody knows each other. And I'm Berlin and Merlin.
Yeah.
And he calls me up and he's like, blah, 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 blah. And he said, you know, I'm like, yes. And we were talking business. But then it just went into this right turn where, you know, if you, Terry, and Martha.
Oh, God.
God.
Seriously?
I'm like, what?
What?
What? I said, A, I work with them.
Right.
B, they are my friends. That is the most disgusting thing. I can't even visualize them naked. I have seen both of them naked, and it does nothing for me. But to just sit here for a moment and visualize us doing this makes me want to vomit. And he goes, and then he stops. He goes, "Did I insult you?" Because wait, he said, "Because I'd be there too." I'm like, "Oh," I said, "But
Lord have mercy.
I'm like,
Oh, sweeten the pot, please.
Sweeten the pot, please."
Yeah, right?
So I mean, but that's what I'm saying. But like my first relationship, but then like I said, my first relationship, everything was undercover, more for the gay thing, and more
Right.
for the gay thing. And then once the gay thing started to become a little bit more, my second relationship, I was very open. I was very open, but with my second relationship, I was DJing at the time, and drummers and DJs, and singers, everybody wants to fuck them. You know, no matter what, married, not married, they want you. They want you. You could be ugly as fuck,
They sure do.
but they want you. And so I remember I was DJing, and all these women would always come in and give me their numbers and shit, and I was dating my girlfriend at the time. And she would be in the DJ booth sometimes, but I said, let's just keep it secret because the lesbian community is a hornet's nest of gossip and drama. So, and by the way, 30 years later, it has not changed. 30 years later, it has not changed. So, I just we kept it really tight secret, tightly, because it was something that we wanted it to work.
Yeah.
And then once we came out, people were shocked, which meant we were really good at what we did. But it didn't stop people from trying to fuck around, flirting with her, flirting with me. Then
People are assholes.
Because then what happened was, then the jealousy started with her.
Oh.
And
Shit.
it was like, I wish we would have just fucking kept it secret, which is what I'm saying. Because 30 years later, the lesbian community is the same shit. Next girlfriend, nobody's going to know. No one's going to. Because especially now that I'm in this position.
Right. Right.
But
I have a question, though, about gossip.
Oh,
So,
God, help
I
me.
mean,
Really?
yes, really. I mean, if you're friends and you're talking about your other friend and your other friend, I mean, like in your position, I wonder, did people around you know that your husband was cheating on you and nobody told you? That's another omission that I
That's
wonder
right.
about.
That's
I mean, where as a friend are you supposed to?
But that's not gossip. That's something you
Well,
definitely know.
if you're talking to other friends about
right.
your one friend whose
Yeah.
husband is fucking everything
Well,
with
yeah,
a hole
you should
in
be
it.
going to the.
Okay. Of
Yeah.
course, Gaye has lived a motherfucking weird life. I've got a story.
Okay.
I was with a good friend of mine and her husband. They supposedly had an agreement. They got one fuck throughout one time in
hall
their
pass.
marriage. A hall pass one time in their marriage, and they both agreed to it. And I kind of knew about it, but I didn't pay attention until it happened. So then I became complicit.
Oh God.
Another thing I will never fucking do
Right,
in my life.
right.
Where, I'm talking her out of it. And she's like, fuck you. I called and I left a message. I said, but you left a message. No, wait till he calls you back text you so your guys are on the same. Fuck
Right.
that. Blah blah blah. And then I left. Okay, I left. I washed my hands. I said, I'm out of here. I don't want to know what you do. I don't care. Don't give me details. Okay. On the drive home,
Oh God.
the husband calls me.
Oh God.
He is crying and telling me that he got this message. And this is a true story. I wish it wasn't. And he said to me, please go back and stop her.
Oh, God.
And I said, I
hell.
can't.
I tried.
I tried. I can't. Well, okay. She did the thing. They got in a big fight, separated. He hated me.
It's not your fault.
Because but it was easier to blame me than to blame her. So it was my fault. So we had a big falling out, and
that's a shame.
and we're fine now. But at the time, because we had a big talk, he and we actually had a talk, and he apologized for blaming me because he knew it wasn't my fault.
Yeah.
And I of course said, well, you guys, if you didn't think you could deal with this, why did you fucking agree to
Right.
this to start with? Okay, just saying. I said, but he never thought she'd do it.
Oh, great.
Never thought she'd do it because it was so in love. Never thought she'd do it. He thought it was silly that he even blamed me, and.
Well, it was.
And he said, but he did say, he said, I took it out on you and I was angry at you, but I should have been angry at her. And he said, and I
he
don't.
should have
and
been
I-
angry at his damn
but
self
he
for
said-
agreeing to it in the first
But
fucking
he
place.
said to me,
idiot.
But he also said, I don't know why you're not angry at her by putting you in this position. And I thought about it and I didn't say anything. But it's because she was my friend. He wasn't.
Right. But you
were
shouldn't have.
already
You
put
weren't
you
in
in
any
the position.
position.
Right.
That was between the two of them.
No,
It was
but
not your job.
But to get that
put her on
fucking
a
call
leash.
for an hour and a half
Well,
drive,
I'm sure.
and then he's like telling me he's going to commit suicide. Not so cool.
No.
But it's
No,
the
I would have
difference-
been mad at her in that case, but still.
It's the thing, like,
she was getting laid.
Yeah, right. True.
if two people are going to come up, like if you're going to call me and you're going to start talking about you and Delisha, right? Like, and there's this problem, and then you're going to talk about
couldn't handle all
Delisha.
this.
You're going to talk about Delisha
I'd
and
break
Mara,
her.
right? And I'm going to tell you, right? I'm just going to shut you down and go. If you've got a problem with one of
Yeah,
them,
talk to
go
them.
talk to one of them because it's not my problem.
Yeah.
You know, and
Yeah.
I think we have to take I mean, I think that applies in your situation. Like, dude, this is not my problem. This is between the two of you.
Exactly.
But again, it's an emotional. I'm embedded
Right.
in this family. I feel I have loyalty to both.
Yes, we've all been in
So,
that position.
and it's not like, shit happens to me. And it just happens to me, and I learned from it, and I know because I didn't do anything.
Right.
But, again, with the gossiping, as
Yeah.
we were talking about, the he said, she said, the she said, you got a problem with that person. Take it with them.
But
You've got to
if-
fucking shut the shit down.
But I'm talking about, like, if you know somebody has a problem, like
Do
somebody.
you tell your friend?
Yeah, like if you know someone, like you hear them throwing up their lunch and they think nobody knows that they're bulimic.
Yeah.
And
I was in a situation like that.
Yeah.
And
Do you say
I
something?
wrote a letter actually because I had a friend who had passed away from alcoholism.
Yeah.
Best friend. I got this tattoo for her a long time ago.
and
Anyway, I had gone to Al-Anon meetings to try to understand how to deal with the alcoholic. And
Yeah.
so then later in life, I was crazy about this one girl who had an alcoholic problem. I could see it clear as day. She was hitting rock bottom. And I know from group that you don't just come out and label somebody with that. So I just wrote a letter, and hardly anyone ever does handwritten letters anymore, but I wrote a quick letter and I said, I see you hurting yourself.
Yeah.
It's killing me and I can't save you.
Yeah.
I have to walk away because this is what you're doing. You're drinking. And if you ever want to, stop or change or whatever, I'll be there for you on your journey. But that's what I had to do because walking was the hardest thing
Yeah.
because I wanted to save her so much.
Yeah.
But I knew that the biggest act of love was to leave her to her saving herself.
Yeah.
So you're saying, how do you confront someone? In that case, I knew this person wouldn't be open to a conversation about it, so I just wrote the letter.
But you wouldn't have gone. I mean, I don't know. Maybe you would have gone and talked to your friend. I was very young. I was 18. I just moved out of my house. I was living with a roommate. There was a woman, single mom, that lived above us, and every morning I could hear her beat that kid. Every morning I could hear
Did
the
you call
screaming.
social services?
Well, I mean, I didn't. I mean, 18. I don't know what to do.
Oh, right.
But I write her a letter, right? And I said, look, I'm your downstairs neighbor. If you need a babysitter, I can help you. If you need social service, I don't know what it is, but if I keep hearing that and that is continuing, now I don't know if she was beating, but you know what I mean, like verbal abuse. And, it actually did stop, but she, first of all, she wrote me a terrible letter back. She's like, "Mind your own business. How dare you judge me? Do you know what it's like to be a single mother?" And I did eventually find out what that was like, but I didn't do that. I don't think. Terrible. But yeah, I mean, I didn't go to a bunch of other people in the apartment complex and go, "Ooh, this lady up." You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's different. You've got to.
But it is different. I mean, I dated a cokehead. I did not. I was the only motherfucker that didn't know she was a cokehead.
I didn't know
See,
my friend
that's
was
what I'm
either.
saying.
No idea she was a cokehead.
Wow.
Dated her for a minute. Sex was amazing. But then, okay. So then I pretty much did the same thing you did. I walked away. Okay.
How'd you find out?
Because somebody actually told me. Because they didn't want me to get involved with that, because apparently, and then another reason I found out after they told me is we went to a party. I left my camera in the car. The next morning, my car was broken into. The camera was gone, and then she disappeared. So
What?
Yeah. So then, and this was like an expensive camera from my business.
You think she
Right.
stole it?
Of course she did.
Oh, shit.
Because they showed.
Wow.
Because there were cameras in the parking lot. And after I called her and I said, she goes, "I didn't do it. So there's cameras." So I needed to let her go.
Yeah.
5 years later, 5 years later, I get a call, and this broke my heart. She said, "Hey, I'm back in town." Now, mind you, this girl, not to say that affluence has anything, but her father was a judge, and her mother was a top oncologist.
And she's stealing to. Okay.
Okay, but it was a drug habit. But the point was Scorpio. I don't know. But what happened was 5 years later, I get a call, and she said, "Meet me at," and there was a gay bar on Ventura Boulevard, but there's no gay bars anymore. But I can't remember the name. And I said, "Well, meet me after work," because it was close to work. I walked in, and I literally walked past her.
Wow.
Wow.
And I looked around. She was about 85 pounds.
What? Oh my God.
Oh my God.
She had track marks. She had the
Yeah.
skin thing.
Yeah.
And part of me was like,
Wow.
"Don't even sit down."
Right.
But I did, because
You did.
I did.
Yeah.
And I sat down with her, and we talked a minute, and I grabbed her hand, and I said, I mean, I didn't know what to fucking say.
Yeah.
I think I just grabbed her hand, and I think I cried for a minute, because I first, I can't fathom that,
Yeah.
and I couldn't believe it. And she said, "Thank you for coming." Of course, we all know why she wanted me there. She wanted money.
Money?
Yeah.
Oh, man. Damn.
And I told her, "I'm sorry, because if you were not the way you are and you were rebuilding yourself,
Right.
I'd write you a check in no time. You know that about me.
Right.
I can't feed in
Right.
to this."
Sad.
So I walked away. 5 years later, she's dead.
Yeah.
And part of me for a minute felt a little responsible, because maybe she was reaching out for help.
No.
No.
You're
was
never
reaching out to buy
responsible
more
for the
drugs.
actions of someone else.
You're right, but I was like, maybe I was the only one that she reached out to.
Because you felt that sense of betrayal to her, right?
Yeah.
But then it's not about you.
No, I'm over it. I mean, I'm over it. But but that's what I'm saying. So, you have these secrets, lies, omission. You've got these experiences, and, we're just really just having a journey through life.
Yeah.
And I think awareness is really important, and we'll always stumble and fall, and we'll always fuck up because we're not perfect.
Yeah.
And we can't fix but we can assist. We can't take someone's 100% power away because their journey is their journey. But we can be there as an assist. We can be there supporting. And I always say, and you guys can make fun of me, but if you love someone, truly love someone, that matters. That really does matter. Even if they can't say it back to you, even it's not about them, it's about you giving of yourself and being available to love them.
You know, your story about your friend reminded me. I work with Steve Hackett, who played with Genesis, and he wrote this song called Every Day about a woman that he loved so much, and she got into drugs. And the last time he saw her, she was in the hospital, shadow of her former self. And the lyrics to this song, can I read it?
I don't think we can. I don't think we can read lyrics. It's copyrighted, right?
Well, even though I
can
give
read it?
credit for who. I mean, Cleopatra's needle conquered fear. One more nail in your coffin, dear. Endless torture for at least 2,000 years. What's the use of friendship? Who am I? Hell-bent on destruction, how I tried. You became a ghost to me long before you died. I mean, that's a lyric for your ass.
It's just
Powerful.
and I don't want to leave this on this really somber motherfucking note because we're funny. We're so fun. Oh my God, I think I just jiggled my beat right now.
I don't think I've ever seen you with cleavage before.
I try not to show it.
You should. You got great tits. What's the matter with you?
Yeah, jiggle away, baby. Go.
Yeah, don't hide those.
All right, well, guess what time it is, ladies? It's 8:31. We're a little...
Oh,
I know,
over.
right? Didn't I tell you? Didn't I tell you? So I just, I always like to just end this briefly before I go around and say goodnight to everyone and thank you. And if you have, and I want you to give your information if you're looking for more clients, because trust me, that we'll all be right signing up. But people, we're human. We're going to do these things. It's going to happen. We're going to lie. We're going to have secrets. But really pick your battles. Pick your battles. If someone means so much to you and you know that those actions will hurt them, think twice. Because don't take that person for granted. People like, the person who's doing it too, you're a love person. You're loved. I think we all just really need to love each other.
Yeah.
I really do. And I think, we need self-care. But I think it's really, you can't do it alone, people. You just can't do it alone. You gotta have friends. So on that note, we are here the first and third Friday of each month at United Broadcasting Network. I hope you enjoyed the show tonight. I have no idea what the topic is yet for the first Friday in February, but I do know that the third Friday, it's going to be the Law of Attraction with another fellow podcaster. Lisa Tahir will be joining us. Nice. So, Delisha, thank you.
Thank you.
I just want to say it now because I'm getting it.
Delisha with whatthehealth.net.
Yeah. Durga, where can people find you?
On Facebook and Instagram. Durga Diva on Instagram and Durga McBroom on Facebook.
Mara, how you doing?
Hi. Thank you. It was a pleasure to be here.
And you're still taking orders for jackets and art?
Yeah, you can go to Mara Shane Custom Designs on Facebook.
And Cara Noble?
Yeah, I'm on Facebook.
Yep, that's it. Voiceover artist, Cora.
Well, I was just going to say, hey, Gaye, you, Martha, and Terry, what do you think?
Let's end on that one.
Kim is starting a new cart business.
Yeah,
Nice.
food cart.
Oh, cool.
She will have a restaurant again.
I will, damn it.
Yep.
Yes.
And then we have Christina Cassel.
And it's Cassel, and I am on Facebook.
And Facebook is Christina Cassel.
Right.
And your place is in Encino still?
Correct.
And we love her. And
She's great.
we will, and I know you didn't get a word in edgewise, but you know what? It's sort of like, but I mean, you did.
Yeah.
But you dropped bombs, and I am really happy that you felt safe and comfortable enough with us to share your secret.
Thank you.
Yes.
Thank you so much.
I love you all.
I love you guys.
I love you so much. I love you all. Thank you, Tony, again. We will be here, and I know it's kind of hokey, but I kind of like to say this. Namaste.
Namaste.
Good night. Good weekend. It's a long one.
Don't lie.
Don't lie!